A very warm welcome to everyone who is watching this video. In this video, we are going to discuss and talk in detail about the essay writing portion of the PTE exam. It comes under PTE writing part. And let's look at the structure and what we need to do here. So in one exam, usually you'll get one essay or maybe two in number. So the essays are usually of general topics. You have 20 minutes to plan, organize, and write, and also revise what you have written in your essay. The word limit is somewhere between 200 to 300 words. You can write to 3-4 paragraphs, and this is usually the screen. So you'll have your topic here. For example, here the topic is something related to tobacco and its use, and this is the space where you can write. This is the total word count. Now let's talk quickly about the scoring part of it. So of course, content is the number one to score. This is the most important aspect because this is where the main idea of the essay which you're talking about, which you're writing about, is you're going to highlight this. So if you cover the topic well, highlighting all the pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages, different opinions related to the passage or what the topic about, you are going to write your content. So you'll get good 3 marks if you write whole, or you are going to, if you missed out on few of the aspects, there would be some deduction in your marks. Other than content, there are some other things from which the marks could be deducted. The form, which is very clear to understand that your essay should be between 200 to 300 words. You'll get full 2 marks. The next is about development, structure, and coherence of the overall essay. How you have developed the idea, you introduce something, then you are getting more specifics into explanation, why this, why not this, and then ultimately you move to a final conclusion. So how you have developed, how the overall structure of your essay is, and how are you linking those arguments, those explanations in your essay. Then there's a grammar. Grammar, of course, you may require to use complex grammatical structures. There are chances that you're going to commit mistake. So it's really, really important to revise what you have written once your essay is done. Other than this, the vocabulary portion could be extended to the general linguistic range, what kind of phrases you use while describing, while some kind of description or expressing your viewpoints. You give emphasis on words like in contrast, as compared to this. You remove any kind of ambiguity and generic statements. Instead, you write, you show the different variety, the huge variety of your linguistics range. And then you have spelling. Of course, you are not supposed to commit more than one mistake in your spelling. So let me also show you a slide where we're going to talk about how to score the maximum. Now there are 7 things which ultimately gives you a score of 15. So there is 2 marks for form, grammar 2 marks, development, structure and coherence 2 marks, spelling 2 marks, the general linguistic range 2 marks, vocabulary 2, content 3 marks, the highest, and overall you have 15 marks in your essay. Now, as I said, there are some low hanging fruits. These are the points which are easy to score: form, spelling, grammar, and development, structure. All these are very easy to understand and easy to score. So make sure you are not going to lose out these low hanging fruits. So definitely you are going to score 8. This is your target, that you should not lose a single mark on these 8 score. Now vocabulary and content, and this could be something which could be which needs more practice and more effort from one side. And let us say there are some marks you deduct, but overall tentative score, your target should be that minimum you should be getting 12 out of 15 in your writing essay. And this is a good overall score for your PTE exam. Okay, so now the big question is, of course, these all are easy to understand, that how to do this, and probably the computer can easily record your spelling mistakes and your grammatical structure mistakes. But the big question is how exactly the computer analyzes and assessed essay, and how does Pearson does this. So, as per Pearson, they use this new technique which is called as latent semantic analysis. So, what the software does is, what the computer does is, the computer is going to analyze your essay with their database, and in that database there are different kind of essays which are checked by humans, and there are good essays, average essays, and probably bad essays. So when you write your essay is being compared with those essays which are there in the database. The more closer you are to, let's say, a perfect essay, then you'll get good score. So the computer checks the similarity. Okay, now let's take one example. Let's say this is one such essay topic which might be part of your exam, which says that, are you in favor of extreme games? Why? So in this you have to make up your mind whether you want to go for it. Yes, they are. I'm in favor of extreme games, and then you look out for reasons why. Or are you against extreme games, and then you look out for reasons why. So a very inexperienced essay writer, or something which is not a perfect score, could write something like this in a very vague manner. Something like, extreme games make people confident. Doing this, you'll become more brave, exciting. And maybe a fake or generic statement, something like 90% of the people who have done extremes are now more confident. So this is not a good example of writing an essay, because you don't see any development. You don't see anything which the argument you start off as a low and you add on more to it, then again it becomes a big argument. No, it is lacking all such important things. So just putting in these words is not making a good argument. You will not going to score good in your development and your structure. What you need is a more comprehensive approach. You need to put in what all are the important themes which should cover when we talk about the extreme games. So first, you think about the different things. So you say, yes, I'm in favor of extreme games, for example, and then you try to figure out, okay, it is adventure, yes. It brings excitement, yes. It may lead to injury. This could be, yes, it's a negative side of it. And a sense of achievement, fear, and then how you build upon it. So for example, yes, I'm in favor of extreme games because it gives me a sense of achievement. And how does it gives you a sense of achievement? Because through this, I overcome fear. It challenges one's mental limitation. And if I'm able to do this, it boosts my confidence and it gives me a sense of achievement. So this is how you build upon your theme, your argument, your basic arguments, your opinion in an essay. And using this, you would be writing your essay. Okay. Also, we do a lot of effort in understanding how the essays are being judged by the computer and how to score good marks. There's something which is called as Common European Framework. And according to this, to score a good score in your PTE exam, you need a C1 level of English. Now we went ahead and understood what is C1 level. So according to Cambridge English, there are different levels of English. And if you see more research into it, and we analyze something here, and we see that there are different phrases, and depending upon how complex is the understanding and the underlying meaning behind it, we give it a rating. For example, if you use the word get in the form of a verb, this is a very simple structure of English, and this is a A1 level of English. But you go ahead and use a complex use of get, something like, don't get me wrong. Now, in this, get is not a verb, and you are using this in a complex way. In that ways, this becomes a C2 language. It becomes a C2 level of language. And this is what we need for your good essay score. Okay, and we have more such analysis here to make you understand how to score good, what phrases, what words to use so that the computer can score you maximum. The more tips very easy tips that you should divide your essay into 3 parts: the introduction, the main body of the essay, or maybe 2 different bodies of the essay, body 1, body 2, and then a conclusion. You can use many keywords like, in my view, in my point of view, according to me, when you put an argument, because, due to, reasons, and something like this you can use in general for all the essay types. There are more tips. Usually essay in PTE comes from the topic which is related to general issues, something like which is important for students to know, something related to education, global warming, pollution, poverty. These are usually the topics which comes in exam. Most of the topics which come in exam are debatable. So you are supposed to put forward the debate. You have to highlight the both the sides. You have to give advantages, disadvantages of both, and then ultimately you conclude with what you believe is the right way. So it's very important to conclude also. So I'm going to show you a template which we advise for students to take advantage of such template. One such template is something like this. So let's say this is our topic. Discuss the significance of formal written assessment in today's world to evaluate children's performance. So in such topic, in such essay type, the first thing is you need to understand that are you in favor of formal written assessment or you are going against it. In this one, in my example here, I'm going to reject the idea of formal written assessment, and I'm going to highlight I don't think this is the better way of assessing, and then I'm going to put forward reasons why I do think this is right or wrong and move forward. So I for note taking, I organize the different kind of notes and put forward all the keywords. And this is the sample template. So there's an introduction at the top, there's a conclusion at the end, and there are two bodies. And if you remember this, you have to just fill in what all needs to be there, and you can use this template for any essay type. There could be more such templates which highlights the different aspects of the topics. For example, related to this topic, we will see how to use this template. So let's say this is the different note takings which we did. So now written assessment, in my opinion, they do not reflect one's true ability. It is not comprehensive enough. And why it is not comprehensive enough? Because the focus of written exam is on academic knowledge rather than practical skill, and they have some examples. Now let's go back to the template once and see how to fit it. So what you need to do here is the controversial topic with respect to the background. So what is the background of the question here? The background is education. Okay, something related to education system. So you can talk about the controversial topic with respect to education never fails to attract public attention. There has been a heated debate on whether, then you can put topic, whether formal written assessment should be part of the children's performance evaluation or not. But as far as I'm concerned, I tend to be advocate of or opponent regarding this issue. You put forward your viewpoint here. What are you favoring? Then you move ahead with the template. There are opinions and counter opinions, and you have made this ready for yourself. Where opinion 1 is needed, you will put forward your points from there. So it is evidently reasonable for me to believe that I am against the idea of written formal assessment. You take a side here. And then why do you think so? Due to the fact that the written exams are not comprehensive enough, and all such arguments which you just built upon. And similarly in body 2, you will also move forward and you counter agreement that of course, though I'm not in favor of written assessments, but still written assessments are easy to operate, they are much standardized, they are easy to measure a child's performance. So you do highlight the other version, the counter opinion also. Okay, I don't like it, but it has some advantages. But these advantages are not enough, and then you put forward your second opinion. These advantages are not enough because students get demotivated by something like this. And then you conclude. In a nutshell, due to the mentioned reasons, we may safely reach the conclusion that the written assessments are not the ideal way to evaluate child's performance. So this is a template which could be very useful for you for explaining what all you want to say regarding the topic in your essay. And such note-taking could also be useful for you. And you can, these are general templates which you can use for almost all the topics. So this is the final essay which could fetch you a good marks related to this topic. and you can go through it and you can practice more. You can come back and see more such videos from our site, and I wish you all the best for your next exam.